What's going on, everybody? It is Jeremy Glover, the Resilient Banker, and we have Forex Class tonight. Tuning in every Monday and Wednesday, right? On Hidden Wealth Society, right? Hidden Wealth Society. Y'all tune in. Tune in. Let's go. Just getting some administrative stuff together before the call. Yes, yes. Yes, yes. How's everybody? Text messages going out. Inviting everybody to the call. Make sure y'all share this post. If you hop on this live session, make sure you subscribe to this channel. Subscribe while we get ready for the Forex call. You know we gotta get some music going when the Forex call pops in. But make sure y'all comment below where you're tuning in from, because we're international, right? Make sure you share this live link on your page. Share this live link on your social medias, right? We're going to be getting started in less than a minute. I'm just starting some music. Getting some music started, but we're starting in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, right? Right. Yeah, but make sure y'all share this link. Make sure y'all share this link. We're getting it started. We're getting it on and popping. Don't want nobody to miss this information. Recording in progress. Welcome to this wedding Wednesday. I am your co-host, Queen Boys, and I am so happy to see you all back for our day off of Wednesday. Drop a 7 fire hearts wherever you want in the chat for gratitude and respect, place, and opportunity. And although this is no November, drop a $sign if you have been taking your own independent trends for what you learned here in Hidden Society. I've seen some TPs hit in the chat this morning. It's alright if you're going to be bashful. Please make sure that you have your pins and notepads and simple advice, if at all possible. If you don't see your accountability partner on this call, send them a reminder text to let them know, hey, Asian session is underway. And I am going to get myself out of there. I'm going to get some downsides here. I'm going to get myself out of there and introduce you all. Our lead Forex educator, name editor, Mr. Jeremy Glover. Sir, are you ready? Yes, I am ready. Thank you for that lovely introduction. Giving it back to Queen Bowens, who's hosting the call, and just give it back to the educators that's part of this organization. Just give it back to just the whole organization, just for showing up, right? Because the main thing is half the battle is showing up, and we appreciate y'all showing up for class every Monday and Wednesday, and even checking in to see if we're having class on days we don't have class, right? So that's just good that we are all tuned in and all getting ready, right? So what I'm gonna go over today is, I'm gonna start off with the 3 keys, right? The 3 keys of trading, and I'm gonna share my screen.
All right. So as we know, the first thing you want to know, you want to have on the three keys are patience, right? Patience is key to trading. And we go over these and drill these in because we don't want to forget these three keys, right? So patience is the capacity to accept or tolerate delay, trouble, or suffering without getting angry or upset, right? So these are the being patient before you get into a trade, right? Not rushing for that entry, right? If you see it going to a certain zone, you're not gonna get into that buy or get into that sell before it gets to that zone, because that would just shows that you're just not being patient enough, in your trading or just in life in general. Just like I say, these keys are keys that not only you can use in trading but in everyday life, right? So patience, patience is a virtue, right? So the next one I want to go over is consistency, right? Consistency is the conformity in the application of something, typically that which is necessary for the sake of logic, accuracy, or fairness, right? So pretty much you want to be, consistent in your acts. You want to be consistent in trading, meaning you don't want to just, if you lose a trade, you don't want to just, throw in the towel pretty much, right? You don't want to just, quit because, every day is not going to be, a winning day. But you have to use certain strategies to make sure, like emotional intelligence, to diffuse your emotions, through those times that you're actually, not winning in those trades or in the markets per se. And it's okay to take a break from the markets, right? If your energy is not matching with the markets, take a break, right? Do not, if your energy is not matching up with the markets, make sure that you don't blow your account, because that can definitely be a damper on your, not only your day but your whole week, because you're not able to actually get in. So the next thing and the last, before we actually hop on to the reviewing of the trade plan once more, because that is super, super important as well. And that's why I chose discipline as the last key that we actually go over before I get into the trade plan, because it says the practice of training people to obey rules or code or behavior using punishment or correct disobedience, right? So what I get from that is you have to be disciplined with your trade plan, right? You have to be, discipline. You have to discipline yourself. You have to, and in some instance, be self-disciplined, right? Self-discipline is key on top of being disciplined, right? You're gonna have to punish yourself, right, when things are not going right. Punish yourself when that trade goes wrong. Make yourself do 100 push-ups if you lose a trade. You may not like to do push-ups, but that's self-discipline, right? This is an example of self-discipline. You may not like running around. You may not like, doing cardio or running, right? But go out there and run just because you lost that trade, and that is called self-discipline, because you're disciplining yourself, right? You're not looking for the outside world to discipline you, because the outside world already disciplined you enough with that lesson inside the market. So go self-discipline yourself and go run around the block, go run up the street, right? You may not like doing that, but do something you don't like, right? Because that's the key thing is when it comes to self-discipline. All right, so we'll get into the trade plan, because that is another pillar that you have to be disciplined to follow, right? Because you actually have to have a plan before you actually get into the trade. You have to actually have, before, after you already, go over your patience, discipline, and consistency, right? You want to then get into your trade plan before you actually get into the markets, right? And this is why I usually more likely go over the trade plan before we get into the actual market or the charts. that's the process that I use. I review my trade plan, and once everything is I's are dotted and T's are crossed, right? You hop into the market after that, after all check marks are in. So you want to figure out what type of trader you are, right? And this is key to figure out what type of trader you are, because I've heard people say, "Oh, I'm a scalper, I'm a day trader, I'm a swing trader." I'm kind of like all four of those, right? But you really want to niche that down, because the main thing is niching it down, because you don't want to be all over the place. You don't want to be holding one trade one day and then you're a scalper another day. You want to just keep it in for a couple hours, right? You want to, focus in on one, master one of those four, whether it be a scalper, day trader, swing trader, or position trader. Figure out which one you are, and it's going to go by your personality. What type of person are you? Are you an aggressive person, or are you just a laid back person? That could be a key factor in what type of trader you are. All right, so what days are you going to trade, right? So this is key too, because you know what days you're going to go into the 9 to 5, right? You know what days you're going to go into your regular job, right? So you have to know what days you're going to actually be trading. Is it going to be Monday, Wednesday, Friday? Is it going to be Tuesday through Friday? Maybe in your trading experience, you maybe one day out of the week, a trade goes bad, in your analysis, in your back testing, because the key to it is the back test, right? Make sure you're back testing, either if it's a strategy that you already use or a new strategy but the main thing with that as well is to stay consistent on one strategy as well, because I was one of those traders who hopped from strategy to strategy, just trying to find my way, right? And end up blowing a lot of money in return of that. So you really just want to stay consistent with what's actually making you money, and not veer left from it, right? So know what days you're gonna trade, and I go into what days you're gonna trade, and on certain days, some days your trades may not hit on a certain day. Like me, majority of the time mine doesn't hit on Tuesday for some reason. So for some reason Tuesday is just not moving right for me. So I may stay out the market on Tuesday and hop back in again on Wednesday, right? So just like I say, your trade plan is going to be fit for what works for you, right? So what pairs / charts are you going to be trading? Are you going to be trading the Forex market? Are you going to be trading, the indices? As y'all can see right now, the cryptocurrency market is going crazy right now. But once you learn, on this platform, you're going to be actually able to to trade cryptocurrencies and Forex and indices, and to be comfortable with your trade, right? To be confident in your trading. What specific time do you trade? And the reason why it asks that as well, is because you don't want to trade, when you are at your 9 to 5, right? You may not have, time to get in and out the trade properly, right? You may not be able to set up the strategy properly. May not be able to have enough time to set up the strategy before the market, your time comes in to where you want to get into the markets. It's multiple things that factor into what specific time do you want to trade, right? And that breaks down to what pair are you going to trade, or what pair is moving the most around the time that you want to trade, right? So if you are more of if you're after 5:30, after you get off work, and you're looking into the markets, and you're looking to trade from 5:30 to 11 a.m. or 11 p.m., right? You set those times, right? And you look for setups within those times, because just because it's the time for you to trade doesn't mean you have to place a trade, right? And that goes with the patience, right? That goes with the discipline. That goes with the consistency. But main thing is, on what I'm talking about, is the discipline, right? Or the patience, because you're being patient before it's time to get into the trade. Because that time that you have set aside to trade, you may not have time. It may not be a setup at that time, right? You may not see a certain setup that says get in, right? And you want to have all confirmations for when it's time to get in. All right. So, what times per day? How many times per day will you trade? That is key as well because you don't want to overtrade. There's a thing called overtrading, right? You may place one trade and it may hit, right? But then if you start placing multiple trades, thinking they're going to hit, the least a good nugget is the least time that you're in the market is the most time that you're going to win, right? The least time that you're in the market is the most time you're going to win. What do you mean by that, Jeremy? Right? You're talking out the side of your neck, right, Jeremy? No, actually, if you're in the market, you're actually giving the market opportunity to either go the opposite way on you because you've already placed multiple trades, so your check marks could be off, right? So the more times that you're out of the markets is probably the most money you're going to make because you're going to go in, have a plan, make that money, right, and be disciplined not to get into a trade again, right? It all goes back to those three keys, right? All right, so how do you know when to get into a trade? So, we talked about, strategies and we talked about different setups. So you want to make sure all your confirmations are checked on your trade plan or on your strategy before you enter the trade. So if in your strategy, you look at the news, then you look at the chart, and then you mark your high, lower, low, then you find your entry that way. Make sure all those check marks are checked before you actually place buy or sell because it's easy to place buy or sell on the markets, but it's not easy, right, for mentally to get out of that trade, right? So that's where emotional intelligence comes into play. That's where sometimes the greed factor comes in if you don't have that, properly planned out, right? And you don't want to get into the greed factor because once you get into the greed factor, that's usually when you start over trading, and that's usually when you start losing money, right? Two things you don't want to see or hear, but will happen in the Forex market or in the markets, period. You're not going to get into the market and not lose, right? So the only thing you can do is to minimize your risk and which will help you lose less, right? All right, so how do you know when to get out of a trade? So something in your mind just has to click, right? Something in your gut just had to say, okay, this thing don't look like it's going right. Maybe you're in the trade too long. Maybe one of your check marks was kind of was probably a question mark on one of those check marks, right? And maybe that trade it just was in the red too long. Or maybe there's a trigger in your head saying, okay, this is the amount of money that I want to lose, right? So when it hits that mark of my loss, I'm going to cancel out my trade or I'm going to put my stop loss there, right? Because we do stop losses and TPs. But just in a mental note, you got to have in your head what amount you want to lose, right? So you can actually set that to what you want to lose in your head, and then when you see that loss, you cancel that trade out, get out, and then that's when it's time to go do some self-discipline, right? Now it's time to go, do those 100 push-ups, run around the block, get a little sweaty because I don't like to get sweaty, right? Some people just don't like to get sweaty. Some people just don't like to exercise. Get out there and do some exercises, just to get that heart pumping and that brain flowing, just to get you out of the mentality that I have to go get that money back, right? Just get yourself out in nature, do something else other than sit there and watch the charts once you actually have that loss because you're going to want a revenge trade, right? All right, so how will you keep records? So how you keep records are through your notebook. So you get a notebook and you register every trade that you trade, kind of like a ledger, right? Well, just like a ledger, right? And you want to put in your losses and you want to put in your gains, right? You want to make sure that the balance sheets is balanced, right? When it comes to that. So if you lose a day, you put in that loss, whatever it was, whatever pair it was, however you do your recordings, put the date, and then trade again the next day, right? Don't try and revenge trade that day, right? Let it cool off, get back in the same time that you will get in the next day, place that same trade, but make sure all your check marks are checked, right? Make sure you're following everything on your trade plan. So, will you trade with a stop loss or take profit? So that's automatic. That's automatic yes for that question. That's automatic yes for that question because stop loss and take profits, they are non-negotiable, right? These are how you protect your account, right? Stop losses protect your account from risk to reward, right? Remember I was telling you, make sure you know how much you want to lose. Well, you can calculate your stop loss to how much you want to lose, whether it be $15, whether it be $25. Normally we go by pips or points, but as an independent trader, right? Because we are pushing for y'all to be independent traders to where you can place a buy or sell on your account and feel confident in that, right? Confident in that buy or sell. Knowing that, just because I'm in a little red right now, my gut feeling saying this is still a good trade, right? It didn't hit my stop loss yet, so I'm still in a good trade, right? And then when stop losses hit, what do? We go cool off for a while, right? We go run around the block. We go, do 100 push-ups, right? Go out there in nature, talk to God, the Most High, whoever you pray to, right? So definitely want to going into 2025, you definitely want to get into that the mentality to definitely plan everything out before you actually execute, right? All right, so how much money will you fund your live account with? So this is key as well. You can fund your live account with $50. You can fund your live account with $1,000. But the main thing is to secure your profits and make a gain, right? So yes.
Have you ever moved, or are you using a different screen because of discipline?
You said what now?
Are you using another screen because of discipline?
You say it only says discipline on it?
Correct.
Okay.
It's involved.
Okay. I don't know why that's stuck on there. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So this is the last part of the trade plan. I pretty much just went over the trade plan. If the audience, I'm not sure if y'all saw the rest of the trade. It's in the back office. I pretty much just went down the bullets. But so how much will you fund your account with? This is key. Fund your account with 50 to whatever you're comfortable with funding your account with. But the thing is to have this plan set up to make sure that you follow the steps and execute the plan. How much money will you withdraw from your account? And just like I say, this is key, right? So say you make $50, right? And at the end of the week, you have $250, right? A good key to make sure you at least get a withdrawal out, right? Is to what I like to do is take my initial deposit and keep my initial deposit in there and do it again, the next week or the next day, right? However you withdraw, because brokers, you can withdraw daily, you could withdraw weekly, you can withdraw bi-weekly. You want to set that up on your plan because you have all this stuff already set up as well. The corporations pay you what every 2 weeks, right? Every 2 weeks you get a check. So if you want to do it down that aspect where every 2 weeks you pay yourself a check, do it that way. If you want to get paid every day, right? If you want to get paid off of what you make daily, right? So if you have 200 and you make 300 and you withdraw 200, right? And keep 300 inside the account for tomorrow, right? You just made $200, right? And you withdraw that, put it inside your other account and, continue the next day with that $300, right? So, and then rip off and duplicate that same process again, right? You do the same trade, all your check marks check, right? Everything balances out and you actually withdraw another $300, right? And say you leave $300 inside the account, right? And you continue to do that, by the end of the week, if you are withdrawing daily, right? That's 300 times 5, right? 300 times 5, that's what, $1,500. So that is, pretty much $1,500 in 1 week, right? So consistent to what you will actually make on a have a goal to where you're making the same amount of money, or you actually match your job check, right? Whatever you're making at your job, let that be a goal to match in trading, right? So what would you do with the money from trading, right? So you want to have a plan, and you want to have a plan on what you plan on doing with the money, right? Because blessings don't come to people who don't know what they're going to already do or who they're going to already bless, right? You got to already have a plan before the money even hits your account, right? So have it where this plan is a vacation fund, right? You know, um, have it as a vacation fund, have it as a relief fund, or just have it as a donation fund. Maybe you just want to donate to more charities next year, 2025, right? Maybe you want to donate to more nonprofits next year. So maybe this account is just to donate to nonprofits, or just circulate inside the communities, right? That's what it's all about. It's to circulate the knowledge and the money inside the communities. Okay, so what will you do? All right, so we went over this. What will you do for personal development to keep your mentality tough if you keep losing continuously in trades? So it's like I say, self-discipline, right? You don't like running around the track, go run around the track. You don't like doing 100 push-ups, make yourself do 100 push-ups, because you deserve to be self-disciplined on that loss, right? It beats getting back into the actual it beats getting back into the actual trade and losing money. All right, so I don't think I got to do this during the call, but shoot, we were going to be opening up for some questions and everybody to get into the charts. So drop some ones in the chat if you've placed your first trade, right? Just drop some ones in the chat if you place your first trade by yourself, I should say. I know we definitely want you to be independent traders. But just drop some ones in the chat if you've placed your first trade alone, right? And that's just give yourself a pat on the back for that, right? Give yourself a pat on the back for that. Yes.
This is John Centerpiece to you, King Jr. For doing the thing how you do. Peace to the Queen of Diamonds and the Boards. And definitely peace and strength to the family, everyone who is here, participating in your own rescue. First of all, I'm really fast that you're going over the plan. Because it keeps it like at the forefront. I know myself, when I'm printing it out, and I haven't yet sat down, which I plan on doing it before the end of this weekend, and actually write out my plan, because it kept everything without it. But while we was talking, I thought about it. It brought me to something that we do have access to if you have trading view. I don't know if it's just on paid trading view or not, but back tracing, and I'm not actually going to go over that now, but if you can, if you know the back tracing, if you can at one particular class, give us a lesson on that, the back tracing, so that when we catch a lesson or catch a loss, we can actually turn it into a lesson by doing the back tracing method and see what we went wrong to move forward. If that's possible at a further class. Yes, I have done that in previous classes. If we go back to look at recordings, he's actually done that in his teachings. Okay, thanks. That's the reason why I need to hit the back office. Absolutely. Appreciate you. Get that.
Yes. All right. All right. Awesome, awesome. Yes, man, appreciate you, Jocelyn. That was awesome, awesome. Yeah. So, yeah, we go. Did you drop some pairs in the chat that y'all want to look at? I know, so like I say, normally look at gold, but I mean, shoot, we can even look at what we can even look at why y'all dropping those in the chat. Let's just look at some cryptocurrencies really quick, cause um, what's going on with the cryptocurrency world, right? Look, all this. These push-ups, all it hitting past 90. You know, that's super big, man. For the cryptocurrency world, right? Just a run up before the end of the year. But just a little, a little friendly advice. Don't get into the height of, just hopping in, these investments and these trades, without, doing your own due diligence first, because Bitcoin is really volatile, right? And um, if you're not an advanced trader, don't invest into it, right? It's kind of early right now to get into, right? Because it could do a retracement right when you're getting into and trying to invest into it. So just wait for those pullbacks, wait for those perfect entries, and enter. If you see your opportunity. But we're gonna go over so how I like to look at the previous day, right? Previous day, find the high on the previous day. We're gonna do it the same way I normally do it, whether it's Bitcoin, whether it's gold, whether it's US 30. We're gonna look at it. We're gonna find those higher highs and lower lows so we can find a good entry. Okay, and you don't see the chart. Okay, share. All right. All right. All right. Let's see. All right. So higher high and lower low, right? Higher high and lower low of the previous day. So that's the green. The green is the higher high and lower low. We're really in the middle right now. Price normally stays in the middle. So then we like to go to the hourly, see what the hourly is doing. But what the main thing is when I'm looking on the hourly is what type of formations do I see, right? What type of candlestick patterns do I see? What is it previously doing with inside this higher high and lower low? Well, currently you can say that it pushed down to this bottom zone, right? Could push down to this bottom zone, could break through this bottom zone. So the main thing is what I like to do, especially is put my alerts, right? If we're not ready to get into a trade yet, you want to make sure that you're being patient in the trade, right? Or being patient before you get into the trade. So we're gonna put resistance. Resistance of daily candle. Hit enter. And so when it hits the top here, my alert's gonna go off. So what I like to do with that is once it hits that hits my alert, I like to see what formation is happening. I like to see what is actually going down, what is actually about to go down, right? And how we do that is we look at the formation of the patterns, right, of the candles, right? So, well, looks like that could be on the hour. Looks like it could be dropping a little bit lower down to this zone. So, we want to put an alert down here at the bottom as well. Once you hit that, put that alert on. Put your support, right? Support level. Support level. The answer. So when the alerts go off, you're not looking to hop into a trade, right? You're looking to see what candlestick patterns are forming, what if all your check marks are actually in alignment, right? You want to make sure all your check marks and all your confirmations are in alignment with what you're about to trade, right? So as we can see, it's inside this zone right here. It's inside this green zone, which is okay. Inside this green zone, higher high and lower low of the daily. Now, eventually, it's going to break out of this. Either it's going to break out below, or it's going to break out above. Right? Could do one of these numbers. Right? It's like I say, right now, it could, the way it's been acting, right? It could do one of those numbers. Continue out. But you want to be aware of. Also, you want to be aware of fake out breakouts, right? Because the market does fake out breakouts. And sometimes the market will do this, right? It'll do a fake out breakout where it'll do this, it'll do this, right? And then it'll break out, continue, right? It'll do that. It does that all the time. Or it'll do this. It'll break out at the top, manipulate up here for a little while, drop, continue, right? So these are the things you can look at, it doing, when it does break out of a zone, right? It could do the break and retest, which is your extra confirmations, or, sometimes it breaks down below, right? It may play down here for a couple hours, maybe a day or two, and then boom, it jumps back up or jumps down. So you definitely just want to be aware about what's going down inside that zone, right? What is it doing inside that zone? So then I like to go and look at the 5 minute. If I'm about to answer right now, I like to look at the 5 minute and see what the 5 minutes is doing, right? And to me, the 5 minute looks like it could be pushing down to that zone, right? Zoom in some. Yeah, so it did this, right? This would have been an ideal entry for the sell when it was up at this zone, right? Continue to sell. So as of right now, you could be looking for sales, right? Just inside the zone looking for sales. So we will go to Europe USD, right? All right. When we look at Europe USD, we'll look at the daily. Strong push down right now. All right, so if we're looking at the previous day, this is the previous day candle right here. Higher high and lower low. Right now it's at its lower low. It looks like it could be pushing below its lower low. And like could be pushing below its lower low. So you could be looking at a possible entry, once we break it down a little bit. Okay. Okay, so on the hourly, it looks like it's pushing past. Yeah, like on the hourly, it like it's pushing past this, but it's only like halfway into the hourly, so that does not mean that it's going to continue to push. So what you want to do is you want to wait for this hourly candle to, if you're going to enter on the hourly or be your final, wait for this to come back and touch it, or you can just look at if it comes back and touches it on the 5 minute. All right, so the 5 minute is. Okay. U.S. oil, USD Mexican. All right, all right. We got an exotic pair. We got some oil. Okay, and we got GJ. Awesome, awesome. And you, okay, Euro. So Euro USD. We are it's downtrend, right? So you really want to just be looking for sales. So find out, put an alert, put an alert right here. Put an alert right here, right? I probably don't have enough alerts. Let me see. Alert on this horizontal. I don't think I have enough alerts. I think I use my 2 alerts. But put an alert right here saying retest. Retest. Zone. Possible. Sell. But EU, we're just looking. It look like we're just going to be looking for sales. As you can see, it's pushing down right now as we speak. So what we're looking for here is a retest. Continue. So we're gonna keep an eye on that one throughout this class to see. We'll come back to that one and see what it does. And we're gonna go to all right, so what type of news happened today in USD? CPI had news, right? USD had news. It was CPI news, customer price index. Where you go for to look for the news? You go to Forex Factory. See what Forex Factory has. See, CPI news happened today. And that means that the US dollar, the US dollar went weak, right? The reason why it went weak due to the news. Let's see. Normally why it goes weak due to the news is market makers pump their money into other currencies, right? So that's what happens when a U.S. currency or a currency becomes weak or powerful. When it's weak, that means that the big hedge funders are taking their money out of that currency and putting it in something like the NZD or Euro or JPY, right?